Okay, guys, welcome again. You should get some notification saying that the meeting is recorded. So if you got this pop-up window, please make sure you confirm that. As I said a second ago, we'll be recording the meeting to make sure we post it online and give other students who couldn't make it the chance to again watch the video and see what's happening. Okay, so with this, to talk to you about the Cyber Scholarship Program, and if you can give me 1 second here. Cyber Scholarship Program is an outstanding opportunity that we provide to our students, especially those who have a focus on cybersecurity, whether they are in the cybersecurity track or the other track, probably elect to have cyber concentration, like taking a minor in cybersecurity, etc. But the definition is broad, and as long as the student is qualified. So this is a question I usually get: can I apply if I'm in software engineering or other tracks? The answer is of course yes, as long as you are qualified and can show your interest in cyber, because this is the name of the program. I'll start first thing by probably let me grab the chat here. By going to the website, and I'm gonna do this actually. I'm gonna send you the link on the chat for easy access. So if you click it on the website here, and I'll share that with you in 1 second. Which is probably many of you are familiar with. It talks about the detail of the program, and some of you had a chance to check the website, guys. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much for the feedback. So if you had a chance to check the website, I'm not going to repeat that, but this is just a description of the grant, previous years of the scholarship, some associated activities, including outreach programs that we do with surrounding community colleges in Western Pennsylvania. I even posted a video from the last cycle informational session held back in fall 2020. So in general, probably you saw also the scholarship flyer. The flyer lists specifically the advantage of the scholarship and the basic requirement. So this is a full board scholarship that will provide you with free education for up to 2 years, can be even 3 years if you are applying for a graduate year after you finish your junior and senior. But this is for the application cycle that start in academic year 2022-23, which is, you know, coming fall, of course, starting fall 2022. The good thing is the stipend actually increased since last year, so it's now $27,000 annually, given in a split between the spring and the fall semesters. So the recipient of the scholarship will receive, like, you know, 13,500 in the first semester and the same amount in the second semester. This is just for room and board. If you are a graduate student, this level is actually at $32K a year. You get free tuition and fees, all fees. And when I say I mean all, means all. Every fee that no other scholarship covers, actually this particular program covers all of your fees. Of course, in addition to a book allowance up to $1,250 and a laptop up to $1,500 and other benefits, including health care that can IUP provide if it's applicable in your case. But these are the advantages, and basic requirements, and just this is the stuff that we'll talk about in detail in a second. But 3.2 undergrad or above, the higher, of course, the more desirable. So the higher GPA is typically, it's a very competitive scholarship. So the higher your GPA, the higher your chance of definitely getting accepted. It's not only GPA, other factors also are important, but GPA definitely is actually a qualification criterion here. So if you don't meet that criterion, you cannot actually apply. Must enter your junior and senior year, and specifically at the end of summer. Before the beginning of fall 22, you must have 60 credit or more to apply. Of course, now we are not in summer, but you can project what will happen in the spring, or if you already registered for the spring, and if you plan to take any summer courses, probably you registered for these courses too. So all your credits earned at that time, all your credits that you gained completely successfully completed by the time should be 60 or more to be eligible to apply. You must be a US citizen, and you need to agree, of course, to work as a civilian for one DOD agency upon your graduation. And for every year, you have to work an equivalent amount of time. So if you get your scholarship for 1 year during your senior year, you only are obligated to work for 1 year. If you get it for 2 years, like many of our students, you need to work for 2 years. In fact, many of our students, just go and work for the agencies, and they are so satisfied, and they continue their career there. Some of them leave after some time and work for contractors and other opportunities. But the things that you need to understand fully about this opportunity, it comes with a guaranteed job after graduation. So when you sign up, when you first get selected, nominated by IUP first of all, then get selected by one of the DOD agency, you are actually guaranteed a job upon your graduation for that number of years, of course, you would like to serve or work in that agency. If you would like to continue, as I said, many people, probably the majority of our students, continue with the agency because they find it a satisfying working environment. I see here that Dr. Ezekiel joined us, a couple of minutes ago. So Dr. Ezekiel, do you want to add anything before I continue the discussion here?
No, sir. I told the students in the class the same thing, so.
Okay, thank you very much. We're just making sure this is a session, interactive session, that if students would like to ask any question, but I will delve into the details in a second. I'm just going through the overall broad, probably known things many of you heard of or just saw on the website or the flyer, but we'll talk about the details that no one actually heard of, which is the detail of how you apply, because the system is completely different this year. Okay, before moving on from this point, guys, any question? Okay, thanks, Vincent, for giving me just some feedback, so at least I know that people are listening, okay, because I don't see your faces. Okay, guys, back to the website. Almost same information here, including the Zoom link for this sessions. But let's focus now on how to apply. If you are interested, probably you are here in this session because you are interested in this great opportunity, how to apply. Let me try to explain the system in general. This is a grant-funded opportunity. So this is not a typical scholarship. For us here at IUP to receive that, we have, just I work with Dr. Ezekiel, he's my co-PI in the project. We work to submit a grant proposal. That grant proposal has to go to the program office, the PO at the DOD, which is running the program, the CySP program at the NSA. So they review this one. If the grant get accepted, we submit also student application with that. And if some of these student applications were selected by some of the DOD agency, IUP is given fund to support those selected students. Okay, once we get the grant here, we will be able to disperse the benefits that we talked about to all who received this one. For your information, we have been very, very successful in the past few years of securing and making sure that our student application are top notch, and we'll try to highlight all the positive component to maximize your chance of getting the scholarship. The system is different today, and I'll talk about this specifically. This is why I asked everyone who's interested to attend this session, and those who couldn't, I will make sure that we record it for them, as I said. So, scholarship application requirement. This is the first document I posted here under probably how to apply. Before that, of course, let us not forget the deadline. The deadline for application is February 1st, 2002. All of you are new applicants. Okay? Returning students are completely different stories. I already talked to them about that, and they will be submitting this to me. But for new applicants, which is everyone in this room, you need to know very well what you are getting in, first of all, and also how to do it. So the first thing, I strongly encourage you, if you didn't have a chance, to go through the scholarship application requirement. It's not very lengthy document. It's about 8 pages, but basically it gives you the background of the program, what they expect from you, a description of the scholarship, and some of the, again, requirements. You must be 18, say, years old at the time you start your recipient, so fall 22 US citizen, and these are the set of disciplines we expect people to cyber scholarship. So definitely we expect you to be in the cyber field, in cyber security, and at least interested in cyber security in the technical field, computer science, etc. One of the important things is just we basically here we at IUP we rank you. Okay, when I'm saying rank you, we basically based on your qualification and applications. See, you will say, okay, this person is recommended, this person is highly recommended. In the old days, we used even to rank you just numerical rank, but this was, in the past, it's gone, started from this year. So our rule will end at either highly recommend applicants or not recommend applicants if they basically are not meeting our criteria. And this will be a very rare cases because, as we'll discuss in a second, the new tool will not allow you to go further part one of the application unless you are eligible to apply. So in the past, we used to have this on paper, so anyone can apply. So we have to review that and exclude those, say, who don't have like 3.2 or who are not US citizen, etc. But now the application will probably take care of that filtering stage. So we'll basically either highly recommend or recommend based on your qualifications and submitted better. One important thing to understand also is IUP does not select candidates. Our rule here as a Center of Academic Excellence is to recommend as many qualified students from our own as we can, as long, of course, you are interested. But the one who select are the DOD agencies. Okay. So this is an important point that I am hoping all of you understand fully. We recommend you or highly recommend you. The one who makes the final decision is something at the DOD side. Part of your application, and I'll talk about this even in more details once we get into the application demo in a second, is to complete what's called OF 612. OF 612 is basically used to be a document, a 3-page document that students must write, okay, in response to these 6 prompts. So we have 6, prompts here. You can see, which is basically you need to describe your knowledge, about techniques in information security. Many of you, I see them in just my 216. So this is a perfect actually opportunity for you guys to describe all that the nice stuff we covered in that course. but you also need to talk about human factors. Again, things that we discussed extensively in 216, and you can write about that. Ability to identify and analyze problems, so your ability as a problem solver, ability to consider response to just need, feeling capabilities of different people, your soft skills, and how can you deal with the people, are you team players? Okay, ability to make clear and convincing oral presentations, your again, oral and presentation skills, and your writing skills is the last one. Each one of these, you need to respond to it, I believe, with a limit of 4,000 characters this time. Remember, we are moving from like a paper application or a PDF, even electronic fill-in application, into a totally online tool that I will demo in a second to all of you. So these are, will be checked very easily in the tool. So if you have to stick with the maximum number of characters required, so you have to be clear, you have to be to the point. By the way, these are very important factors in determining your, recommendation / high recommendation at our side, and also in your selection at the DOD side. So this is basically, again, very basic information. This is what you are supposed to submit. Again, this will more gear towards the old systems in which we have a paper application. But for your information, in the tool, the online tool, you still need to upload 3 different files. I'll talk about them, but let me mention them here briefly. These are your transcripts, academic transcript, your 2 recommendation letters, preferably from faculty who knows you and people who taught you before. So the minimum is at least you have 1 from a faculty. You can get 1 from someone who you worked with before, or some of your managers, or just boss at a previous job or current job. So all of these are acceptable. But the bottom line in the tools, eventually you need to have 3 files uploaded: transcripts, 2 recommendation letter, to be official recommendation letter on a letter, signed, and have contact information of the person who's writing it for you. This is for the training application. Any question, guys? Any questions so far? Okay, I'm trying to stop from time to time to give you a chance to ask a question on whatever information I presented in the past few minutes. No questions? So hearing none. Okay, so let's go back to the website. The second document I posted is basically, again, very simple and interesting documents, talking specifically about, how to apply as a new student. So this is relevant to you. I strongly encourage you to read about that. And the best part of your application, by the way, was a resume. You have to submit of 1 or 2 page resume. Again, it's no longer the case, because all this information about your education, your previous job experience, your skills, any project you get involved with in the past, all of these will be collected by the tool. So we don't have to submit any standalone resume, or you have a specific template or format we give you to follow, because the tool will collect and compile all of this information. So I encourage you to also read this 1 page for the new student applications. You go back. Here's a quick start guide, probably last document you should be interested in. The document also talk about some of the expectations about how the tools is designed and what kind of information you will be providing through your application process. Here is a link, it's the tool, but apparently it used to work, and I tried recently. It doesn't take you to the global sites. So as a workaround, you either go here to this other link, the one to the left, you click on it. And when you go down here, you scroll down a little bit and you say, I want to register. Okay. This site also has tons of information with a lot of just how to apply, some questions, things about the background. You need to understand these are jobs that will require security clearance. So it's a key that you will pass these security clearance to make sure that you'll start working for your DOD agency. So this is an important question you have to ask for yourself. If everything is fine in your background and you don't find any problems, this is a great opportunity for you. If you think there's something in your background that might prevent you from having a security clearance, you might just reach out to me or Dr. Ezekiel and discuss this with either one of us. Okay, 6 things you need to know about the program. There's tons of information. I strongly encourage you to be careful and read them. Dr. Ezekiel?
See, that is what I always tell the students. Do not post a lot of things on the social media, and especially if you're students, do not say that, hey, I'm having a party, I'm drinking with my friends. Those type of things is not only for this scholarship. In the future, if you apply for many jobs, nowadays they do background check. It will go against you, So keep your social media and other things clean, So that was the recommendations.
Thanks for the advice, Dr. Zeke. So any questions so far? So as I said, the link in the first part of the document on the right side here, for some reason, doesn't work anymore. Probably they changed it a bit. So you just click on this one, DOD CySP main page. This will take you to the page I was just there. You scroll a little bit down and you click, I want to register for my DOD account. So the first step is you go to this website. Once you click here, it takes you, if you already create an account, you just sign in. If you didn't, again, create an account, of course, you'll click a sign up, or you click sign up and start applying here. And this will take you step by step in the process of creating an account. First, like any traditional online form, signing up for an online service. Then you will enter the application system or tool that it's a comprehensive process that will collect many information about you. I'll start going through this one. Of course, I don't have an account as a student, okay, on the system, but I will show you a demo that I had attended with the program manager office, so Mrs. Smith. So before doing that, any question? So far, so good, guys? Any question on anything I presented earlier, guys? Why all of you are silent today? Okay, I see a chat here, so someone just sitting. Okay, no questions. Thanks, Dylan, at least for the feedback.
Yep, no questions.
Everything is clear, guys? Do you
Yeah.
have any question? This is okay, good. Is it because this is the last week before the final or what? You're exhausted, you cannot even ask a question? Okay, so let's move on, given that no one has any question. How many of you signed up to this system, by the way? Can I see like a thumbs up or just so you can speak up or just a couple of people? Great. So, okay, 4 students. So for those of you who did not do that yet, please try to start as soon as possible. As I said, it's not very scary, but it's collecting a lot of information, mostly personal about you and your background. So you should be able, of course, to supply this easily, but you might need to just spend a couple of sessions, each one at least 1 hour, probably more, depending on just how much information you would like to type. In addition, of course, to start right now, working on receiving your recommendation letter from those who taught you and would like to recommend you. So with this, I'll just probably flip here. Okay, all of these are just. Okay, give me 1 second. I have a document here. Okay, guys. All of you see my screen? Still see the share screen, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Website I already shared with you, and this is also an alias. Here is what you will find once you sign up to the tool. So you'll find your application status with, say, with your name and the date in which you started the application, and you'll find a very interesting action button here. The button will contain the word withdraw. Okay, and the meaning of that is really depending on the time. So once you sign up from now up to February 1st, which is the deadline for submitting your application, you will start working in your application, and we are giving you almost 2 months, guys, to finish something which will take you like 2-3 hours. Okay, a little bit more, less, depending on you. But you need to start soon. So to give us at least a chance to look at your application, and if something needs improvement or something, we'll be more than happy to help you. I'll go and check. This is what I have been doing for years. That students used to give me this paper application, and I have to go extensively and review everything in every paper to pinpoint this mistakes or this missing thing, all that stuff. This is why we have at the end recommended very highly qualified student, but also presented their case in the best way possible. And you can see that in some years we have 9 students actually receiving the scholarship, which is an unbelievable number for IUP. When you think about this, 9 represent roughly 5% of the entire scholarship given to all universities in the United States. This is something significant. Okay, this is something really very, very significant. So, and this was a result of the hard work of the entire team, Dr. Ezekiel, and and the other faculty who helped me, which is no one is helping us now, but Dr. Ezekiel and myself are the team now, members. So, so this is important. So I strongly encourage you to go to the tool if once you finish this quick session, and sign up if you didn't do that already, and start working on your application. Clearly articulate yourself very well. Be just focused, to the point. Your write-up is very important, by the way, as I said, and determining your rank and your selection if you'll be just lucky and get selected for the scholarship. Back to this button again. In that period from now till February 1st, okay, that button, okay, will allow you, presumably according to the instruction we got from the trainer, if you submit your application before February 1st, that you can go back and change it, okay, which is something I don't really recommend, okay. So I would recommend only you submit your application when you feel it's ready, and you feel it's final case. Let me submit now, it's done deal. But that button means, what does it mean after February 1st? After February 1st, if you submitted your application, say, and we will will actually go and review and try to recommend you to the DOD, this will withdraw your application from our consideration. So be very careful about this button, by the way, because this is, if you accidentally click it, I'm assuming you'll get a confirmation dialog, of course, but just in case, understand what does this mean. After February 1st, withdrawing means withdrawing. You don't want to get involved in the program. Before that, withdrawing means if you submit your application, you would like to continue editing it, which is, I don't think it's a good idea, as I said. Anyway, this is one thing. You can choose your username, by the way. Your password must be at least 12 and character or more, and the system will give you the detail requirement as you move from one step to another step. But this is just highlighting some of the main points. One important thing you need to understand, as I said, in the past, we really spend quite some time, significant time investment, reviewing every application submitted. Every application is like 20 plus in pages, and we have many people applying in the past. We have like over 20 people applying in some years, more than 20 people. So you have to review this line by line. So we really have significant investment in terms of time, going through this one and identifying all of these, pitfalls that student, typically falls in. The online tool, from my discussion with the program managers and the meetings that we attended before we start, presenting the opportunity to you, is we would like to move actually the ownership more to you. You are the applicants. And if you receive this scholarship for your information, this is an outstanding opportunity. This is not something that just, we're talking about less than 200 scholarship offered for the entire nation. Okay. We're talking about 8 or 9 of them just here at IUP in the past couple of years, which is, as I said, significant. But this is a unique opportunity. You're talking about a funding level, something between 40 plus, probably to 60, even more, depending on your case. Tuition level, whether undergrad, grad, whether like out of state, in state, of course, things vary. But we're talking about a significant chunk of money each year. So it's very important for those who will be, for us who would like to recommend you, and for those who will be actually looking at your application, to see just signs of maturity, ability to do stuff at a high quality and professional. There's these are things that I think was main motivation for them to move to the tool, that they want actually that ownership to be more towards you as a student. Because now my rule is to go to the tool and check what you have done. I can still identify some issues if I find something, but it's a totally different, animal compared to me going through page by page in a paper application to try to pinpoint mistakes or missing, resume here, or having out of order pages and all that stuff. You understand? So, any questions so far about the application? Okay, applications is 2 parts, as you can see, and I make sure that I have snapshot because I cannot show you, of course, a live system, because I don't have an account, a student account on the system. I have a faculty account on the system. Okay, so basically, the application is 2 parts. Part number 1 is an eligibility part. So you have to pass part number 1 completely before you will be able to start part number 2. So this is one thing. So you must acknowledge 7 questions before moving forward, by the way. So an important thing here, which is down the road, you will be asked to upload your academic transcript. In the past, CySP program requires official transcript at the submission time. So before you even submit, you have to order your official transcripts. Just get delivered directly to me. I am the only one who's just, again, eligible to open it and include it in the application. This is no longer the case, at least at the submission level. So they can accept, okay, and I verified this very well. I know the site will tell you it has to be official, but still at the application level, you don't have, because official transcript now you have to order it from this online service and post money and all that stuff. So unofficial transcript, you can just grab a PDF file from my IUP in a couple of seconds. So yes, we can apply with an unofficial transcript at the application time, but if selected, you must submit to the PMO, the Program Management Office, at the NSA. You must submit your official transcript. So at least this is something I wanted to clearly just make it clear to everyone. Again, you have to respond to all of these questions, as I was saying, about your demographic, personal information, and you also hear general requirement, blah, blah, blah. So you keep doing. For instance, let me stop here specifically on this page. So for instance, the page asks you, okay, that are you enrolled in a Center of Academic Excellence school? A CEE, as many of you understand, this is a very prestigious designation that IUP, have been holding for about 2 decades now. We was one of the very first institutions in the nation to get designated as such, and we continue to get designated as such. In fact, I told many of you in my classes that I have been just working for almost a year now, just actually over a year. We started November of last year on the renewal of the application, and I have just finished submitting that on November 3rd, and we're still working with the people now for the feedback and other process. But this is something we have to renew every 5 years, and this is why I was submitting a renewal application, which takes a year to submit. Anyway, so you have to select yes here, because if you select no, you are not eligible. Of course, you are a student at IUB, you have to select you are in a Center of Academic Excellence. The second thing here is asking you about your GPA. Okay, and this is why some of you asked me that questions. What about if my GPA at the current moment is not 3.2? It doesn't matter. Your GPA after the fall semester grades are posted is the one that you are considering when you apply. So when you grab your academic transcripts, some of you might want to finish all that stuff before the fall end. You cannot do that. You have to wait until the fall semester grades are posted, and your updated, of course, the transcripts are available on my IUP. Then you can grab that unofficial transcripts, save it as a PDF file, look at the transcript for your updated GPA after the end of the fall semester. Then you can include this GPA in your application. So your answer to this question will be based on after fall grades are posted. Is this clear, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so please keep this in mind. So don't rush and start putting your current GPA if you have one. No, just you have to wait after the fall. Remember, the deadline is February 1st. So we still have plenty of time. This doesn't mean that we can go through the application and know what's required exactly from us and probably prepare all these documents once the full semester is over and we know for sure what's current GPA. Say your GPA now is 3.8 and you don't expect it to change in the fall except slightly or even improve. So you can go ahead, of course, and say 3.2 and above. But if you are in that borderline and your fall grades might change your GPA either below or above, I encourage you to wait until after the fall grade posted. Then you include the actual, or accurate answer to this question. Again, if you answer the question here, no, thank you very much for your interest. No, you must have just a GPA of 3.2. You are not eligible. That's it. But of course, if you answer yes, you'll be able to finish and basically complete part 1 by clicking the button here, submit part 1, and you will get this, just some, again, final screens. You have to select the appropriate things, and you must, as I said, submit part 1, which will determine if you are eligible or not before you will be allowed to move to part 2 of the application. So you will get this screen like, congratulations, you are off to a great start, and then you can just save and continue to start on part 2 of the application. Any questions so far? Are you with me, guys? Okay. Okay. Part 2. Starting from part 2, it will start asking about your education. So the first thing is basic, just information about you, professional summary, educations, your school, just city, state, traditional information, what's exactly the name of your major. So you need to know exactly what's your majors. I have just, from experience, I have interesting experience from student writing their resume and applying, and very well students, okay, applying for the scholarship, and they don't know the official name of the major. Okay, your major is Bachelor of Science in Computer Science / Cybersecurity Tech. If you are in the cybersecurity, for instance, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science / Software Engineering Tech. Okay, so you need to know the official name of your majors because this is an official document. This is a governmental actually website. So information there you will just sign of that all the information are accurate to the best of your knowledge and ability. So make sure you know exactly what you are typing here and make sure of the accuracy of what you supply. Okay, so this is typical things like education, and this will allow you to provide information about work history and experience. If you have any work history, it doesn't have to be related to cyber, any work history, and you would like to include this to increase your chances of getting selected, okay, to show the people that you are reliable, that you worked on different things. You worked with, say, with Dr. Farag in this grant before, or you worked with Dr. Ezekiel in that research project, blah, blah, blah. You worked just in a grocery store, whatever. Any work, whether it's related or unrelated, okay, to cyber, you need to include it here, and you are willing to include it here, you need to include. But as you can see, there's many mandatory fields in this form. For instance, you have to provide the title, from to, you have to provide the salary, it's mandatory. So if you are getting hourly payment and how much per hour, etc. And you have to provide the employer name. Other information are optional, but these 5 fields are required, as you can see with the asterisk here. So you don't have to provide, work history by the way. If you choose to provide work history, you must complete these 5 fields and any extra field you would like to supply as part of each work experience. You can have multiple work experience, so you can add multiple of them, not just one by them. But if you choose not, that's fine. You choose not, it's your decision. You remember, we are moving the ownership of that to you, so it's up to you to see if this will improve your chances of getting selected or not. Okay. So if you don't opt to choose that, that's perfectly fine. You can continue to the next step. The next step here is key projects. See, in this area, you will tell us and tell people who will review your application, at various DOD agencies, what are the key projects that you worked on and you would like to brag of. So if you are taking 345 with Dr. Farag, for instance, I'm talking about, of course, myself. Okay, you can talk about that. I built a web server, and this web server was processing HTTP requests, and I was able to delve into the protocols and how the request, and the response messages exchanged between a web client and a web server, etc. You brag about any web, just not necessarily web, any projects related to cyber and the technical field that you would like to include here. So this is in that area of key projects. There's also area, of course, recognition, honor awards. Since you are in the honor school, you got that recognition and certain competitions. You participated in the cyber's just security club, and you won first place in a national competition, like some of our students did. This is your chance of bragging and show of your case here and just highlighting your strengths and previous background. If any, you don't have to have some, but if you have, it's very recommended, of course, to highlight recognition, honors, awards. You will just certain number of semesters in the dean's list, etc. Any kind of recognition you would like to include here, make sure you include it. Okay, reference, as I said, you need to provide the information about who will be writing your reference letter. And of course, you need to upload the reference letter. The letter has to be a PDF. It has to be official letter that's signed, as I said, contain all the information about your reference, contain, of course, the recommendation itself, and on a letter, on an official letter. So this is for the reference letter. And then comes to OF 612. These are the 6 competences, guys, I talked about before with all of you, that you would like to provide responses to each one of them. As you can see, knowledge of techniques of cybersecurity, such as encryptions, access control, physical security, blah, 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 threat analysis, all of that stuff, okay? You will respond here. By the way, the tool will tell you exactly the limit. I believe I mentioned it's 4,000. Apparently, here in the snapshot is 2,000, whatever. When you access the tool will tell you exactly the maximum number. The main idea here is this write is so crucial and so important. So it's my best advice to all of you to take that very seriously. Sometimes, this is why you need to start on the application as early as possible. The data entry on the website or the tool is not the problem. Some of this stuff might require you a deep thinking, and just really writing. Good writing is not easy, as many of you understand. So you might need to sit, and start responding to these 6 questions, revise them, just to get feedback from your, friends or peers and things like that, and improve your writing to the best of your ability. Some of you might use the writing center to improve it. It's up to you. It's a resource available at IUP, and some of these are even online. You just send it to them and send it back to you. So you have to provide 6 responses, 1 response for each one of these, competencies about, cyber soft skills, and the tool will tell you the maximum number of characters in each field. Okay. One option here also is to select an agency of your preference. So if you prefer, certain agency, if you're looking specifically of getting employed or selected by certain agency, this is your chance of picking them. Here there's a number of agencies belongs to the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Army, etc. So if you know any of these, you can just mark them in order of importance to you. 1 is the top, 2 is the second option, 3, and so on. If you don't know any of these and just you don't care, okay, literally you don't have to provide that one. So I believe this is an optional one, and make sure you read all the instruction very well, because as I said, I do not account from the student perspective. I rely on a training session that I attended that showed us exactly what I'm showing you here, with some of my annotation and explanation, of course. Okay. Security clearance. As I said, will be working for the Department of Defense. So every agency in the Department of Defense requires different levels of security clearance. So depending on the agency that will select you, okay, and depending on your job, responsibility, you have to go through security clearance anyway. So for those of you who will get that scholarship for 2 years, so starting your junior year, you will finish your junior year at the end of the junior year spring academic semester, which will be just like this is 22, the spring of 2023. During the summer of 2023, you have to do an internship with a paid internship. You will be paid money for that, a paid internship for your agency. So as long as we don't have COVID at the time still, you'll be going to your agency and have an on-site internship. Some of our last summer students didn't have an on-site. Some of them have, depending on the situation. So you will select your security clearance. If you had a security clearance in the past for any reason, okay, which is normally not the case for most of our students, but some of our students had that, by the way. If you had a security clearance, you will identify that in this very simple, form. If not, which is the absolute majority of you will be the case here, basically you will select not applicable, which means I'm not holding any US government issue security clearance. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so I know time is running very fast. You need to review your application very well. As I said, in summary, in addition to all of your personal information, work experience, academic, informations, your resume, etc., you have to upload 3 files to the application. One is a PDF of your unofficial transcript. It can be official if you choose to. If you choose to upload your official transcript after ordering it online and getting an official one, okay, that's perfectly fine. You will not be asked to submit one if you are selected. But if you just would like to keep it until the selection process is finalized, that's fine too. And then the 2 recommendation letters we discussed earlier. I see one chat. Let me look here. Is this PDF uploaded on the DOD Cyber Scholarship Program? So what do you mean Cyber Scholarship page? You mean the IUP page?
Yeah.
No, this is uploaded. What do you mean the PDF is uploaded? See,
The one you're like going through right now?
No. This was part of my training. This is this one. And again, the tool is basically this is a snapshot of the tool. Once you go to the tools, you will find all of these stuff there. My best advice, Linnea, is to clearly and just very carefully read the instruction. Not just you, everyone who would like to go through the tool. Read the instruction on every page before responding to any questions to fully understand what's asked from you. All what I have here is just like a snapshot, as I said, that we got from a training session I attended with the program management office.
Okay.
Okay. So moving on here, 3 files, as I said, transcript can be official and unofficial. It's up to you. 2 letters of recommendation must be officials on letterhead and all the properties I described earlier for all of you. Okay, this is another very important step here, which is you're gonna finish your application. So by finishing your application here, you have to certify, as I said, that this application contains accurate information to the best of your knowledge. As I said, you have to, the application has a tool, by the way, which goes through checking the application, but don't rely fully on that. Okay, make sure you basically double check on all of your entries. Make sure you use the spell check features. It's not good to submit an application for a scholarship that will give you 50K a year and you have just silly spelling mistakes and other issues in your application. So make sure of that professionalism I talked to you about. It's crucial, guys. We will be able to help a bit here with the tool, but definitely it's totally owned by you now. It's in your field, the ball in your field. So make sure your application expresses how qualified you are. You're competing with people from top universities throughout the nation. I'm talking about Penn State, Virginia Tech, University of Virginia, UCLA, talking about very, very big research schools, no nation, just national universities that's known to everyone. So here at IUP, we have been doing a great job of, highlighting the strengths of our students, which is, many of you are great students. So I'd like to highlight your strengths. Now it's your turn to highlight your strengths because this is your application. Okay, I'm not going to do the application for you. You assume full ownership at this point. So make sure you do your best when you try to complete this application. So you're going to certify here. And once you submit, you will get your application with the status. Okay, the status will change. If you remember the first slide I showed you up there, the status was different. Remember, there's no date submission here, if you remember. I'm going back to. Okay. Once you submit, say, in a certain day, submitted November 19th, this was, of course, the demo accounts here that the guys who created the tool just was demonstrating to us. you will have this withdraw button, as I said, active. If you click the withdraw after February 1st, you will not be considered at all. If you click withdraw before February 1st, okay, according to them, okay, I didn't do that. Like, according to them, I didn't test that. This will allow you to go back to the application and edit it. My best advice, don't rely on this. Before you submit your application, make sure you totally review it. Once you have your application on the system, I and Dr. Ezekiel will be able to see it. So you might just go and shoot us an email, hey, Dr. Ezekiel, can you look at my application and see if everything looks fine? This is perfectly fine. This is the equivalent of the old days. I ask people to submit the application earlier before the deadline, so I can go through all of these tons of pages I told you about and review them. Now we can check that online. So I encourage you to do that, to give yourself at least 10 days. Consider the application deadline as January 20th and try to finish by that time. And during this 10 days, hey, Dr. Ezekiel, hey, Dr. Farag, can you check my application? Looks fine for you. Do you have any, recommendation for improvement? We'll go and we'll be more than happy to check it for you, and we'll give you thumbs up or identify some points that you can improve, so you can still have room of improvement. If you did this in the night of just January to 31st, at 11:59 p.m., I don't think you are giving us any time to help you, yes? So please plan ahead. We have 2 months, guys. This is a lot of time. I know we have holiday, just season coming soon, but this doesn't prevent you from spending a few hours here and there to have a qualified, high-quality application. This is all what I have. Okay, I spent a lot of time with the demo here, but I think it's important for you to know about the tools, at least see some snapshots that I showed you. I'll open the floor for question. We have just a few minutes left. So any questions for me, guys? Well, Dr. Ezekiel still here.
If we're getting a reference letter from someone, should they write about something specific, or?
No, they write about their interaction with you. So anyone who write a recommendation letter of reference to someone, I'm assuming that you're going to approach someone who has a good impression about you and who would like to write good stuff about you, given a good experience he or she has interacting with you in various circumstances. If you're working, say, at a grocery store, Walmart, whatever, and your boss is impressed with your work ethics and just seriousness and professionalism and commitment, these are very, very valuable traits that people are looking for any work, including CySP. So yes, so it doesn't have to be about cyber, if this is your question, Vincent. Yes?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Sure. Okay, other question, guys? This is your chance to ask a question.
Where would I find all this stuff that you're going over so I can relook at it?
It's not. This is my own notes. I want to show that one as I said. I'm not sure how useful this one for you. It doesn't have anything secret, but this is just a demo of how the tool is used. Okay. Once you sign up to the tool, this is what you will see. So once you sign in the tool, you'll find this page. The next time you click, say, in personal information or demographic, you'll find this page exactly. So this is just a demo thing. So I'm not quite sure. So all of you think this is something valuable for you guys? You would like me to make it accessible to you?
I think so, because even with the one part where you're like, make sure your major is right. It's not just cybersecurity. It's like the specifics. I think that would help us too, to make sure we're like on the right track.
No problem, but this will take some time until I posted, it takes through the cycle of approval for the web team. But sure, I can make this documents available to you on the website. So here's a heads up. So you'll go to the website here. the CISP website. Just again, let me do it here, and I'll just basically have an additional things here between 4 and 5, another 5. Here's demo from the information session. And by the way, the information sessions that we are having right now, as I said, will be recorded and eventually posted. I'll put the link here. So the entire video will be accessible to you too.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure, Lily. Sure. Is this going to help you, Frank?
Yes, it will. Thank you.
Great. Okay. So other people. So I didn't hear from James, Dylan, Ben, and JC.
I have no questions.
Oh.
You have no question, Dylan? Thank you. Okay.
I'm all right.
Great. Thanks for the feedback, Ben.
I have
JC?
a question. So, can you hear me?
Sure. Go ahead.
So I'm participating in like the NCAE cyber games like in the spring. Do you think those are gonna occur after this application is due, or do you think I could be able to use that opportunity as like experience for, I know that we don't submit a resume, but like experience for us in like what we're doing?
Of course, you mentioned this, so while you are just answering this question, which is the old equivalent of a resume, you mentioned everything. Although by that time, the deadline is February 1st, will not have any participation in anything, but you are going through the training session. Yes, you are forming the team as we discussed. You are, the vice, president of the cybersecurity. Actually, you are the treasurer of cybersecurity club. Am I right?
Yes. And then I am participating in the CTE cyber games this weekend for the University of Virginia. So like I can use that as well.
Oh, so you decided to go with that too?
Yeah. We ended up putting a team together.
Oh, good, great. So you didn't update me regarding this, but great. It's like very good news. So actually, let's give me the details so we can make sure that we have like a news release about that.
Okay.
So yes, definitely, Jess, people who are active in the cybersecurity club, it's a very, very, very big plus. I keep mentioning this to everyone in my courses and, and everyone. So if you are active in cybersecurity clubs, they are looking for people who are just doing that stuff. It's not just the academic, which is important, but also extracurricular activities, especially those, focused on cybersecurity are a very important things that you need to highlight about yourself. Okay. Other question, guys, or other concerns, comment, anything is acceptable here. Any other questions? No questions? Dr. Ezekiel, anything you would like to add?
No, because there is a couple of things. You have 2 months, especially you have 40 days of a break, except you are working. That gives you enough time to go through thoroughly. Also build up your resume. Number 2, it's holiday time. If you are asking for recommendation, transcript, it takes time. So as you said, that start early, And the third point I want to say is not everyone is planning to apply, showed up today. If the other students ask, you guys can work together, if multiple people are applying it, so that way you can cross-check what is missing, what is not missing. So it's a good experience for others too, For example, okay, Jesse, there is a case, Jesse, Megan is also planning to apply. You can work with the Megan, and Ben is here also there. You can work with the Ben. In the 300 class students, one session has 3 students, other session has 4 or 5 students. They did not show up, but you can work together and start the process as soon as possible. And
Sure. Like Dr. Ezekiel and what I also mentioned earlier, guys, it's great to plan ahead. And I will echo Dr. Ezekiel's comment in particular regarding the recommendation letter. It's time of, just people the semester off. So particularly if you're going to ask some of your faculty who taught you some stuff in the past to write that, please give them time to do this. So don't wait until the last minute. And so you plan ahead so people will be able to help you. Okay, any other question, guys? This is the last call for question for today. If you don't have any questions, we'll finish our meeting. And good luck. And as I said, I'll do my best to post the video online as soon as we can. Also, I'll post the document which I went through with all of you online under how to apply. Okay. So any last minute question? Okay. So looks like, guys, everything is crystal clear and you got everything. You don't have any question. So thanks for joining our session here and good luck. This is an outstanding opportunity. And I will highlight it one more time. The tool is designed for you to highlight or assume the ownership of your application. So do your best, providing, just, best write-up and just best responses you can have to just basically increase your chances of getting selected. Good luck and have a nice day.
So good luck on your exams, guys.
Thank
Good luck
you,
on
guys.
your exams, guys. See you.
Thank you.
Welcome.